En 1996, Wes Craven et Kevin Williamson révolutionnent le film d'épouvante en faisant fi des mises en scène conventionnelles et des stéréotypes monstrueux du genre. Leur film, mélange d'humour et d'horreur, s'intitule Scream.
Do you like scary movies?
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie. Number one, you can never have sex.
So what does this mean?
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back!
Wes Craven accède à la notoriété en 1984 avec la sortie des Griffes de la nuit, qu'il a écrit et réalisé.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is that the one where the guy had knives for fingers?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, that's right. I like that movie. It was scary.
Well, the first one was, but the rest sucked.
It used to be in old horror films, if teenagers went to a horror film, it would be the monster from Oozy Lake or something. It was something made up. But in Scream, they talked about Halloween. They talked about, real films that they'd seen and kind of the rules that they had drawn up around those films.
Au fil des ans, Wes Craven continue de produire des films d'épouvante avec Shocker, Le sous-sol de la peur et Un vampire à Brooklyn.
That third wall was broken, and the audience was drawn into a film that was really real people talking about real films. And that, I think that awareness that they were in situations that were similar to films that they'd seen opened that whole door to the way that media, films, and television have influenced the last several generations of kids.
His energy is really great. He's very giving. He's very, he's very generous in a lot of ways. He's also very aware of what the character is going through emotionally and really tracks that throughout the picture. And he thinks like an actor in a lot of senses, which is really great because there aren't a lot of directors out there who do that anymore.
Kevin Williamson a grandi en Caroline du Nord, région dans laquelle il tournera la série Dawson's Creek qu'il a aussi écrite. Attiré par l'univers des films d'épouvante, il écrit Scream pour Dimensions Film.
With Scream, right away we all knew, my producer, myself, knew that it was a great script. So that feeling was from the beginning. And then while we were filming it, we had the idea, I just had the feeling filming certain scenes that this was extraordinary stuff,
What's that noise?
Popcorn.
You making popcorn?
Well, I'm getting ready to watch a video.
Really? What?
Oh, just some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
Williamson connaît plusieurs succès avec des films d'épouvante tels que Mrs. Tingle et les deux Souviens-toi l'été dernier.
If you want me bad, come and get me. I'm right here. But my grave stays empty.
Julie, this is crazy, all right? The phone lines are down and the boats are gone and there's no way off this island.
Yeah, then we fight.
Les producteurs de Scream pensent boucler rapidement le casting. Le rôle principal est proposé à Drew Barrymore. Elle décline l'offre, mais accepte le rôle d'une des premières victimes. Elle pense que ce sera plus drôle.
What? Hello?
Look, I gotta go.
Âgée de 21 ans, la Canadienne Neve Campbell aspire à jouer un nouveau genre de personnage. Craignant d'être cataloguée dans un style après son succès dans la série télé La vie à 5, elle accepte le rôle principal dans Scream.
Yeah, that is a conscious choice. I don't want people to feel that I can only do one thing. And also as an actor, I want to be challenged. And I find it really inspiring to try and create different kinds of characters.
Courtney Cox vient d'achever la comédie Ace Ventura, détective pour chiens et chats avec Jim Carrey et attend la reprise du tournage de la série télé Friends. La période se révèle idéale pour enfiler le rôle de Gale Weathers.
Probably it was like one of the best scripts I'd read. It was just so entertaining and the humor in it was just great. And being that Wes was directing it, then it wasn't just some kind of scary movie.
Isn't there a back way out of this place?
Yeah, down the alley, I think.
You guys just stay here. I'm gonna get the car. Don't move. Don't make a sound.
There she is.
Sydney!
Hi. Some night, what happened? Are you all right?
She's not answering any questions, all right? Just leave us alone.
No, Tatum, it's okay. She's just doing her job, right, Kim?
Yes, that's right.
Peu avant le début du tournage, Courtney quitte l'acteur Michael Keaton après 6 ans de relation. Sur le plateau de Scream, elle rencontre son futur mari, David Arquette.
I guess all the scenes with my husband have personal meaning to me because I just remember, having such a crush on him when we filmed them. Like I liked when we roll over the ditch in Scream 1 and we kiss. And I remember we were kind of like being silly that night and cutting up and Wes was saying, "Okay, children," like kind of getting mad at us.
Scream est le premier grand succès de David Arquette. Ses deux sœurs, Rosanna et Patricia, font une brillante carrière dans le cinéma. Auditionné pour le rôle principal, finalement attribué à Skeet Ulrich, David joue le shérif adjoint, Dewey Riley.
I had a meeting to come in and sort of meet for the role of Billy, I think, in the first one. The role of Skeet ended up playing. And when I came in, I said, I really don't think that's the part I'd like to play. I sort of like the role of Dewey. And everyone sort of like stopped and was like, whoa. Because they didn't really sort of picture it that way. It was written sort of like this big hunky guy. So I was like, I guess it was a little forward of me, but they sort of went, oh, well. And then I guess Wes sort of liked the idea and it just kind of worked out.
All those characters in that film, that first film, could have easily become the cliche versions of other lesser genre films. The Stupid Sheriff, has been in a million films, but the idea of making him a young guy who's kind of handsome and has a real native wit about him and intelligence was the new thing.
Selon Wes Craven, si Scream est unique, c'est surtout grâce au coup de théâtre à la fin du film.
When the two killers are, talking to each other while they're bleeding to death, I'd really never seen something that was so wrapped in exquisite irony and sort of shocking newness, and so hip and true in a way, very, very true. So I had the feeling, in fact, I turned to the crew at one point and said, this will never get onto the screen, but if it does, it's going to make $1 bajillion because it was so different and so shocking. But in the best sense of the word, it was really breaking down barriers and talking about, in a way, violence truly, because it was kids that thought they were really cool doing it and ended up being total schmucks, and their lives collapse around their own shoulders by their own device. So that's quite extraordinary.
He didn't make the rules.
Police are always on track. If they watch prom night, it saves time.
He just kills by them.
Scream rafle la mise au box-office, réalisant le plus gros succès de l'histoire pour un film d'horreur. Il rapporte plus de 160 millions de dollars dans le monde. Les suites sont inéluctables. Craven affirme toutefois avoir envisagé une trilogie dès l'écriture du premier, mais un événement faillit empêcher le tournage de Scream 2.
Are you kidding me? It'd be stupid to pull this movie. All this free press, they're gonna have huge numbers this weekend. It'll break box office records.
Après le succès fracassant de Scream, la production prévoit aussitôt une suite. Kevin Williamson vient d'achever un second scénario d'épouvante intitulé « Souviens-toi l'été dernier ». Il aspire à jouer un nouveau rôle à Hollywood et veut s'impliquer davantage dans le tournage. Il décide de produire sa propre version pour Scream 2.
Look, Sid, if there is some freaked out psycho trying to follow in Billy Loomis's footsteps, you probably already know him. Or her. Or them. They're probably already in your life. They get off on that. I just want you to be careful, Sid.
Wes Craven désire ardemment réaliser la suite de Scream, mais un problème surgit. Wes aimerait que tous les survivants de Scream 1 reviennent dans Scream 2, mais Neve Campbell ne semble pas du tout motivée.
Hello, girls. Enjoying yourselves? Oh, hello, Sister Lois. Sister Murphy. Hello, Pledge. Hi, Sydney. Hey, this must be flat out hell for you. How are you holding up?
I managed.
It's really weird, isn't it? To think this fuss is all because of you. I mean, not directly, but in some 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon way.
Yeah. Now, Hallie, are you gonna bring your friend to our little martini mixer tonight?
I have a lot of work
We'll
to do.
be there.
Oh, good. Because, Sid, we have our eyes on you. You hang in there, and if there is anything we can do...
The Delta Lambdas are very sensitive to your plight.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
You gonna start to dress like that once you get in?
That's not gonna happen.
Neve éprouve du mal à concilier le tournage de la série La Vie à 5 avec sa carrière au cinéma. Elle rate ainsi le rôle joué par Liv Tyler dans Armageddon. Elle refuse aussi d'être cataloguée dans les films d'horreur. Miramax, qui produit Scream 2, fait le forcing pour engager Niamh pour le second épisode. Les producteurs lui offrent même un rôle dans Rounders de Matt Damon si elle signe pour Scream 2. Mais Niamh refuse malgré tout. Le tournage de La Vie à 5 lui prend trop de temps. Après de longues négociations et une rencontre personnelle avec Wes Craven, Niamh finit tout de même par accepter de tourner Scream 2.
I'm not a huge fan of horror movies only because I don't believe in scaring myself for 2 hours and then having nightmares for months. I saw a movie, The Changeling, when I was 11 years old, and ever since then I've been really bad with it. But they're a blast to shoot. They're a lot of fun. It's a huge challenge, and to have the physical activity incorporated is really nice for me too because I'm a dancer.
Hello, Sydney. How are you? Hi.
What do you want, Gail?
Well, I was hoping I might get just a few words with you. Cotton.
Hi, Sydney.
Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Jamie Kennedy et Liev Schreiber retrouvent ainsi leur rôle. Courtney Cox et David Arquette, qui se sont rencontrés sur Scream 1, entament une relation durant le tournage de Scream 2.
I think we kind of had this infatuation at the beginning, and neither one of us were ready to be in a relationship, so it was really that unbelievably great dynamic that you have with someone, and now it's just true love as opposed to true lust.
He seems a little shaky.
Don't worry about him. If the killer is following a pattern, then maybe we can figure out who's next.
I wouldn't follow a killer's pattern. We were all involved in Woodsboro. Could be any one of us.
Okay, so what do you want to do, bonehead? You just want to sit here and wait and see who drops next?
Well, I don't know. Bonehead.
Le personnage de David Arquette, qui devait mourir dans le premier Scream, est sauvé in extremis en vue du second épisode.
I think they just liked the character. He's a silly guy, and they felt bad about chopping him up.
But if he's a suspect, so am I. So let's move on.
Well, let's not move on. Maybe you are a suspect.
Well, if I'm a suspect, you're a suspect.
You have a point. Okay, let's move on. In the second one, he seems a little more upset. He's a little more... He's not a police officer anymore. Upset that his sister died and someone's trying to bring that whole thing back.
Craven et Williamson imposent des mesures extrêmes pour garder le secret de la fin du second épisode. Tous les acteurs doivent signer un document leur interdisant de parler du film à quiconque. Les 10 dernières pages du scénario imprimées sur du papier spécial ne sont distribuées que le dernier jour du tournage.
Well, actually, they didn't give me the final 20 pages till like the last 3 weeks of shooting, so it's a little different for me. I don't know, it's sort of weird. You didn't have the end, so you kind of had to leave it open. So you had to act sort of in a way where you could be the killer or not. Nobody really knows who is.
L'histoire de Scream 2 est basée sur le tournage d'une fiction intitulée Stab, elle-même inspirée de Scream 1. Dans Scream 1, Sidney dit en rigolant que si un acteur devait jouer son personnage, ce serait Tori Spelling. Dans Stab, son rôle est effectivement incarné par Tori Spelling.
Such a good sport. She's such a fantastic girl, very smart, and a great sense of humor, you know. She wasn't upset about it. She didn't take it in a negative way. I felt so bad about it because we've been friends for a fair amount of time since we've been on our shows and done junkets together, and she's always been so supportive. And then I knew I was going to have to say this line. I was just devastated. But I apologized, and she was like, hey, you know what? I knew that the line was going to be in the movie. I went and saw it anyways, and I got a good laugh, so...
Tell us about this part you're getting rave reviews for.
Well, I play this young girl, Sydney Prescott, who discovers that her boyfriend's this crazy serial killer who also killed her mother the year before that.
So what kind of research did you do for the part?
I get it. Book. They get Tori Spelling to play Sid, and they cast Joe Blow Nobody to play me. At least you get David Schwimmer.
Le tournage de Scream 2 a coûté près de 10 millions de dollars de plus que le premier. Mais malgré ce surcoût, le film a rapporté près de 60 millions de dollars de moins au box-office. Il dépasse à peine les 100 millions de dollars, ce qui suffit néanmoins à envisager un 3e épisode. Mais ce dernier ne sera pas écrit par Kevin Williamson. Craven et Miramax demandent à Kevin Williamson d'écrire le 3e épisode, mais ce dernier a d'autres préoccupations. Il entame ses débuts de réalisateur avec le film Mrs. Tingle, avec l'actrice Katie Holmes de la série Dawson's Creek. Il désire se consacrer totalement à ce film. Kevin avait déjà été obligé de refuser le tournage du film The Faculty pour pouvoir écrire Scream 2. Kevin accepte néanmoins de produire Scream 3. En accord avec Wes Craven, il confie l'écriture à Ehren Kruger, qui vient de remporter un succès pour son scénario Arlington Road, film dans lequel joue Tim Robbins.
Well, it feels good to finish the Scream trilogy, and it feels a little sad too. I mean, it's been almost family, you know, over the 4 years. But it feels very, very good creatively because I can't think of any other instances of a true trilogy where you have a story that involves the same characters going over the arc of 3 pictures. So it's been a very interesting sort of directorial job also to watch Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox and David Arquette and all those other characters grow over the span of years.
Le scénario montre vite des lacunes. Il est maintes fois remanié et connaît plusieurs fins. Mais avec un budget de $40 millions, le casting, lui, ne pose aucun problème.
Another great thing about doing a trilogy is that you get to work with the same actors over and over, and as their characters develop and mature and find new nuances from the actors and from yourself, you know. And you become very, very close to them. I mean, Marianne and I, part of our theory of making films is to provide a very safe and happy and even silly and fun environment for the actors and for the crew. Everybody's given a lot of respect.
He's very open to freedom on the set, sort of. You know, he likes the confines of a script as far as the story goes, but he does let you have fun with stuff. And he really knows what he wants to see. You know, sometimes it feels weird doing these kind of movies because you're like being chased or something. It kind of feels fake, and you know, he just really knows how it's going to turn out. He knows how to sell it.
I mean, I love this group of people. I love Wes Craven, I love the producers and the actors and the ones who didn't die in the last films. They've come back, which is really nice. And working with Courtney and David and Liev again is great. And the new cast, they're a lot of fun too. We always seem to have a good time on these ones.
What do you know about trilogies?
You mean like movie trilogies?
You seem to like movies, Detective.
Well, all I know about movie trilogies is that in the third one, all bets are off.
Did you request this case?
And you see what I see day in and day out. The violence that people do to each other. You get haunted.
What do you mean?
I know what it's like to see ghosts that don't go away.
David Arquette et Courtney Cox, qui se sont mariés peu avant le tournage, sont très heureux de tourner avec Wes, à qui ils doivent leur rencontre.
You know what's going on with Courtney and David, for instance. You know, you find yourself 3 years later at their wedding, and you realize that they met on your set, and you gave fatherly advice to David, and you counseled Courtney, and they supported you, and you know, when you had doubts about decisions you were making about your career or whatever. I mean, you become friends in a really quite unique and wonderful way.
Jennifer, settle down. What happened?
I'm with him.
You. Like I'm ever going to win an award playing you.
There's been a second murder.
Where?
Where? Nancy Drew wants to know where. Don't you get it?
Someone's killing them in the order they die in the movie.
Dewey, who gets killed third?
Who gets killed third?
Wes just has a really special place in my heart besides being an amazing director and a friend. I think he was also really instrumental in David and I getting married. David really respects Wes as well, and I know that, you know, kind of after we had been dating for a long time, Wes really kind of put it to us in the right way and made us realize how lucky we were and what we had. And he's just a really caring, sweet man.
It's great for me to be able to see my wife in this business, you know, because in this business it's so, you never know what you're really going to be doing, and, you know, the hours are so mixed up that for us to be able to work together, it's so great. You know, we get to spend really good time together. And, you know, if things come up and we're sort of get emotional about something, we're always there for each other, which is good.
Wes Craven veut que la fin de la trilogie soit une sorte de récapitulation des 3 épisodes.
You can also fairly expect a resolution to a lot of things, a kind of returning to the whole theme of the entire 3 movies, and some shocking, surprising, and almost explicatory revelations about the whole story and the characters behind it. You know, things that explain what the whole thing meant. things that will be shocks even to the character of, Sidney Prescott and to Dewey Riley and Courtney. So that's kind of the fun of kind of summarizing the whole 3 stories and then the final revelations of, what was really behind some of the darker secrets of the story.
Sydney's dealt with a lot in her life. No, she's been pretty messed up. So within this film, she's kind of gone into hiding, become more reclusive in her life because of all of the circumstances that she's been through. And this film is sort of surrounding the making of Stab 3 and how she has to be brought out again into the circumstances.
I might like this one the best. I mean, I liked 2. I adored 1. But this one kind of has that great balance of humor, emotion, and thrill.
Gail Weathers! Oh my God. Listen, I know we've never met, and I don't mind you never returning my calls, but I have to tell you, after 2 films, I feel like I am in your mind.
Well, that would explain my constant headaches.
I'm sorry things didn't work out on 60 Minutes, too, but Total Entertainment, that's a pretty good fallback.
Thank you. I'm sorry that things didn't work out with Brad Pitt, but being single, that's a pretty good fallback.
I don't think there'll be a 4. I think that's kind of the point. I think we're all really happy with the fact that this will sort of be the finish and trying not to make it one of these films that we sort of have go on forever.
Scream 3 donne un résumé final de l'horrible histoire du gang de Woodsboro. Mais il se peut que l'esprit tordu de Wes Craven nous concocte une nouvelle vision de l'horreur et produise des images qui viennent hanter The Screaming Room ou nos pires cauchemars.
We both know he's alive.